Ahoy folks, and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug. So I thought I would give you another option for running a veteran that also includes Onslaught. As I know a lot of people are fans of it, and it is a very good talent, but I'm going to give you a slightly better way to run it than the focus target build. So let's just jump in and see what we're using. So obviously we're using the dueling sword, as it's just phenomenal. The modifier breakdown, we're going with damage, finesse, penetration, lol, cleave damage, all at 80%, and mobility is going to be our dump stat. Perk-wise, we're going with Flak and Unyielding. Flak is the most prevalent armor type in the game, so that's going to help us against most types of enemies, and Unyielding will help us against Ogryn and bosses, really. I mean, you don't really want to be toe-to-toe with a boss, but if you are, you got yourself covered. And then, blessings-wise, we're going for Rampage. Hitting at least 3 enemies with an attack increases your damage by 36% for 3 seconds. This is going to help us chew through hordes. And then we've got Uncanny Strikes. Plus 24% rending on enemy weak spot hit for 3.5 seconds, stacking 5 times. And this is going to help us with both hordes and killing harder targets. As you can see, the attack style of the dueling sword or saber is very weak spot centric. So you can see those Uncanny Strikes stacking up super quickly. This is the Mark II I'm using, but if you aren't a fan of the Mark II, you can always use the Mark IV, which has a more predictable attack pattern. I just prefer the Mark II. Next up, as the ranged weapon, we're going with the Recon lasgun, but I will give you another option if you don't want to use the Recon. Again, mobility is our dump stat, and we're picking up 25% damage to flak armored enemies and increased range critical strike chance by 5%. This is a very crit centric build, so we're trying to stack that up as high as we can. Blessings wise, we're going for Headhunter, which gives us 5% crit chance on weak spot hit until your next critical hit stacks up to 5 times. So the less we crit, the more crit we get, and then when we do crit, it expends the stacks, and then we start stacking them up again. Crit, basically. And then Infernus, plus 4 burn stacks on critical hit to a maximum of 12 stacks. And for the Curios, they are all the same, plus 17% toughness with 5% extra toughness, 30% toughness generation speed, and 20% damage resistance gunners. And we always take damage resistance gunners because gunners are extremely annoying and they have a horrible habit of shredding us when we're out in the open. This is also going to give you damage resistance to Reapers, so that's a nice little breezy bonus there for you. And as I said, all 3 of these are exactly the same, so we are running with a lot of toughness with this build. Right, let's jump into the talents. We're going to be starting off with Close Order Drill, up to 33% toughness damage reduction, the more allies in coherency. Confirmed Kill, replenish 10% toughness on elite or special enemy kill, and a further 20% toughness over 10 seconds. Down into the crack grenade, into the health boost, then taking range damage. Catch your breath, replenish 5% toughness per second when there are no enemies within 8 meters. We're taking Survivalist next, and then into reload boost, toughness damage reduction, into demolition stockpile so we don't have to worry about grenades, picking up a voice of command as usual, and then into duty and honor. Voice of Command now also provides you and your allies in coherency of plus 50 toughness for 15 seconds. This can exceed your maximum toughness, so we can have an extra 50 toughness on top of our main bar for 15 seconds. Right, we'll start off with the left first. We're going to have range damage boost here, into Precision Strikes, which gives us plus 30% weak spot damage. Fully loaded for plus 25% ammo. Shock Trooper, so that our critical hits with laser weapons consume no ammo. It does have an eternal cooldown on it, so it's kind of works out to every 2.5 to 3 shots, that all crit will be free. And then Superiority Complex, giving us 15% base damage against elite enemies. Now to the middle, we're going to be taking for the Emperor. Your combat ability gives you and your allies in coherency 10% melee base damage and 10% range base damage. Into Tactical Awareness, combat ability cooldown reduced by 6 seconds on specialist enemy kill. And then to Iron Will, one of the best talents in the tree, plus 50% reduced toughness damage if above 75% toughness. And Voice of Command is going to help keep us there. And now on to the right side. We're going to melee damage into close quarter kill zone, which gives us plus 15% close damage for 10 seconds on combat ability use. Into stamina regeneration boost. Onslaught. Continuous hits to a single target apply 2.5% brittleness for 5 seconds. And this stacks up to 16 times. Then down into a toughness boost and trench fighter drill, which is going to give us 10% melee attack speed. And then into range weapon specialist. Gain range weapon specialist on melee kills, stacks 10 times. Gain melee specialist on range kills, stacks 1 time. When you wield your range weapon, you activate your range specialist effect to gain plus 2% range attack speed as well as 33% range critical hit chance on your next shot. Per stack lasts 5 seconds. When you wield your melee weapon, you activate your melee specialist to gain plus 15% melee attack speed and 10% dodge speed and dodge distance for 10 seconds. Switching weapons gives us each buff. Now, this is a very close quarters build. We're going to be weaving in and out from melee damage to ranged. As you can see, both are quite powerful. Now, I did say I was going to give you a slight variation. If you are not a fan of the Recon lasgun, you can go for the infantry autogun. And the mark I'm going to be suggesting is the Columnus Mark V, wherever the hell that's gone. The marks on the autoguns aren't working properly at the moment, because as you'll see, not all of them appear in the drop-down menu. So this and this are supposed to be the same thing, but they're not. And you can't scroll up and down on them, so there's something weird going on with them at the moment. But the Mark V Columnus is a very, very powerful autogun. Let me just see if I can actually find a goddamn version of it. Yeah, it's being super, super sketchy, so I will just describe it to you with my ability to use words. As sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. I did have a transcendent version of it, but it seems to have disappeared. So what we're looking for perk-wise is 25% damage to unyielding and 25% damage to maniacs. This is just going to help us with boss damage and Ogryn damage, along with getting rid of those pesky specials. And for blessings, we're going to be using Dum Dum, which is plus 6% close range damage on repeated hits, stacks 5 times. And Fire Frenzy, which gives us 10% close damage for 3.5 seconds after killing an enemy, at close range stacking 5 times. Now, if you do choose to take the autogun route, just be sure you come in here and take out the point in Shock Trooper, and you can put this wherever you want, really. You could take Always Prepared, you could stick it in Grenade Tinkerer, or you could stick it in Field Improvisation. The choice is really up to you. I would probably stick it in Field Improvisation myself, but you could always take Always Prepared. They're all good choices. But there you go, folks. That is the Trench Fighter build for the Veteran. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, please do like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And I shall see you all for the next one. So until then, take it easy, and see you later.